Hey everyone, I'm so glad you could make it here today. I am going to talk about finding movement and stillness in the tarot cards. When you begin exploring the tarot cards, you realize just how many layers there are to reading the cards. It's absolutely endless. There's colors and chakras, symbology, relationships and references to the Kabbalah, astrology, mathematics, and numerology. There's the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and ether. The cards relate to all the various archetypes and specific paths that we are on, both individual as well as our collective journeys. So as you can see, lots of layers. And the layers that I'll be delving into today are all about energy. There are two main categories, movement and stillness, that I'll be looking at. We'll look at both the positive and the negatives of each of these two categories. And first I'll discuss positive movement these are the fast, fun, exciting card combinations. And then I'll show you examples of stressful movement, which indicate overworking, overthinking, and just overwhelming activity. After that, we will explore stillness with the negative examples of stagnant, dreary, low vibrational inertia. And finally, we will look at the opposite energies of stillness in positive way with the cards that show calm, supportive, relaxing, and introspective stillness. So let's get started with three fun, active, exciting cards. Today, I'm going to be using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, the Smith. Also, we add Smith because Pamela Coleman Smith was finally recognized as the person that did all the art for this deck. The Knight of Swords is charging forward. He's got his hand with his sword in the air, almost reckless with the gallop of his horse, but very determined and focused. Then we have the Chariot moving forward with his team of horses. And it's again with focus and determination. The Eight of Wands coming in here. This is what I call my green light go card. And the path is clear. Nothing can stop this team of very laser focused, exciting cards. This feels good to see the courage and willpower here. So these are great examples of positive movement. I have another example. This set is starting with the Wheel of Fortune, also along with the Sun and the Six of Wands. And here we have the Wheel. It's obviously a very active card. Sometimes up, sometimes down on your luck, but always it's alongside the Sun here. That always makes it a very happy, playful time. And this is also confirmed with the Six of Wands. This guy is all about mastery and victory. And with these three all together, we have what feels like actually like a parade. People are up and happy and excited. And here in Prescott, we just had the local rodeo, the world's oldest rodeo. And the parade is a really big part of that, which brings fun, laughter, and excitement to so many people. And I have one more set, an example of the positive movement here. We have the Knight of Wands, the Fool, and the Ace of Wands. Here's the three cards right here. Starting out with the Wands being very vibrant with their creativity. There's courage and passion. It's very fiery, fun energy. The Knight has a very youthful, eager spirit here. And the Fool being right at his back, he's a risk taker. He's ready to jump off that cliff, and he's not worried about fear or what ifs, just ready to charge forward. Followed up here by the Ace of Wands. And that shows brand new ideas and fresh starts in areas that actually mean the most to this passionate soul. So that's really good, positive energy with those examples. And now we're going to look at the more challenging and negative aspects of movement. And this is all about the overwhelming, overworking, overthinking that I mentioned before. Starting with this set of three, we have the King of Swords. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad guy. He can be a good, strong leader with unique, innovative ideas. However, when he's next to these two cards, then we have deceit and calculated ill will. He has instructed these two pawns to do his dirty work for his own selfish greed, bad king. And the 7 of Swords and the 5 of Swords here really enjoy playing the game, and they get some immediate wins. But in the long run, it's a very empty defeat. And guess what? Karma's a bitch. So this is a warning to avoid engaging in someone else's agenda unless you can see the intention long-term behind it and what they're going for. So these are 3 good examples of negative movement, negative activities. The next example of challenging or stressful movement begins with this 8 of Pentacles. This guy is working really hard. He seems innocent enough. He's at his work table there, working like a beaver. He's producing his products, being mindful. He's being dedicated. And that would be fine and dandy if the surrounding cards weren't, if the surrounding cards were like the earlier ones, they would be nice and supportive. But alas, here comes dun dun dun, the 5 of Pentacles. And this is showing that the results of his hard work are just not paying off. There's lack of funding, there's stress. These people are in survival mode. There's bleak energy here. This 8 of Cups shows that he is fed up and he's ready to let go, give up everything that's familiar, and he's going to go do some soul searching and find a new path. This journey here is very stressful, but sometimes stress and dissatisfaction can push us to new territory. So as always, look for the lesson to be learned and know when to move on and when to stay. Just be mindful of those energies. The third example of negative movement is very similar to the last set. The Tower indicates a huge breakdown of structure and traditional routines. Your world has been turned upside down. Now, this could be of your own doing, but most likely here in this example, it comes as a bolt out of the blue and you're blindsided. The Judgment comes along as a call to rise up and get up from the ashes, take a breath of fresh air as you move on to your next direction. And this is also confirmed by the 6 of Swords. And this is literally moving away from the mess and heading to calmer waters. So again, needing to learn lessons, stay flexible, go with the flow during harsh times, things will get better. And now we're going to move on to second part of the presentation. And for this category, it's all about stillness. And I'm going to switch the order of how we're going to do this. We're going to do the negative stillness first and then the positive stillness, because I always like to end on a high note. So let's enter the stagnant world of the negative aspects of stillness. The first example here is the 5 of Cups. We've also got the 8 of Swords and the 2 of Swords. The 5 is showing despair, grief, and sadness. This card reeks of depression and being in a very low state of being. Sometimes we can't just turn around and see those 2 remaining cups. That's very difficult, but they do indicate that the universe is always holding space for us in our time of need. The 8 of Swords is a self-inflicted, a feeling of bondage, and things seem too daunting right now. And especially having gone through this dark period with the 5 of Cups. And then we have the 2 of Swords, and this is yet another stagnant card. And if you compare these two, a decision definitely needs to be made, but right now is not really the right time for that. But we are getting closer to breaking the chains, because even though the blindfold is still on, let's see, where was I? We're getting closer to breaking the chains because even though the blindfold is still on, we're down to just 2 swords in this one as opposed to all these swords. And she's sitting down. She's taking a break. She's taking the weight off. And also her hands are released in the 2. And she's now wielding the swords instead of being trapped by them. So that indicates, again, this too shall pass, just sticking with a little bit of negativity for a while. Sometimes you can't really get out of those situations immediately, but we know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. The next example of the dark side of stillness, I'm going to show you the moon, the 2 of cups, and the 4 of cups. Now, the moon is uncertain and milky, very unclear. We've got mixed messages. There's mystery and confusion, and this can lead to inertia. The 2 shows that someone from the outside is trying to help. And this person wants to perk things up and get back to normal. But when offering the chalice to the sad person, it's not received, it's not appreciated, it's not even noticed. So the advice here on these 3 would to be, let the situation play out as it is, be patient until the other person is ready to receive the help that they need. They're just not finished processing their issues right now, nor are they ready to get up and do a happy dance to make you feel better. So just go and work on yourself. And in this case, just be there when the time is right and they're ready to talk about it. And now our 3rd example of negative stillness. These 3 represent stinginess, greed, and isolation. The 4 of Pentacles here, this guy is gripping all of his stability. It is based in fear that there won't be enough. And now he does have a certain amount of financial stability and material things that he's holding on to for dear life. And the 9 of Wands here puts an exclamation point on that exact energy. And he's defending his territory. What's mine is mine attitude here. And then we have the 4 of Swords. And this shows that all of this angry, defensive energy is exhausting. There's a cry for release and rest. What this person here is learning is that the way to peace is to be more giving, have more flow, more love, and holding your breath with fear and unnecessary caution will just make you pass out like this guy. So as you can see in these cards, there's just no flow, there's stagnation, there's a lot of fear. So we need to lighten up and breathe and get some flow going. I would say just release to get the relief that we all need. Release to get relief. Now we move on with the more positive aspects of still cards. I've got 3 sets of examples for those. The first set shows positive, peaceful stillness. There's a strength card. She's showing gentle strength through patience. She's knowledgeable. She has a lot of wisdom. She's firm without being mean or aggressive. And then we have the Star, which is a really nice card as well. And she brings calm, confidence, and radiance with true authenticity. She has nothing to hide. She's naked here, nothing to apologize for in her truth. And along for the ride is the Ace of Cups here. And that is offering an abundance of love, joy, and peace. So absolute balance of emotions here with this set of calm, loving, supportive cards. These are just a wonderful thing. They hold space for all of humanity to find kindness and peace in this world. What a nice idea. The next example of positive stillness is the 4 of Wands, and we also have the Emperor and the 9 of Pentacles. And I'll show you these. We have these 3 together are showing a very nice, stable, safe, secure environment. There's a lot of support. And the 4 is a happy home, easy celebrations. The Emperor when it's between these other two cards, is a very kind, protective leader of the family. And the Nine of Pentacles here could easily have been exchanged for the Empress, because the Empress is known for her nurturing, loving, and abundant qualities. But I chose the Nine of Pentacles for the added element of personal independence. When individuals are happy and self-reliant, when they're self-confident and successful, they can be a wonderful supportive element to the group as a whole. So that's very nice, happy, supportive family energy. And it's, again, positive stillness. They're not doing too much activity. It's all very calm and very straightforward. And the last example for positive stillness includes the Hanged Man, the Hierophant, and the Hermit. These three right there. Whereas the previous set showed us a family unit or tightly bonded soulmate unit, this set is all about individual self-realization. The Hanged Man would seem uncomfortable at first glance, but if you look close, his face is very calm and peaceful. You've got the golden halo. It's all good. Surrendering to nature and hanging serenely in all situations. Followed here by the Hierophant, which can have very religious or old traditional meaning. But here, along with the Hanged Man and the Hermit, he is all about finding your own spirituality and following your own path. The keys right here, let me get back to this one. The Hierophant has keys right there at the bottom. And those keys are right at your feet, ready to unlock the mysteries of the universe for yourself. You can just grab those keys and follow your own path without following some regimented hierarchy. And the Hermit, I got the Hermit here. He is so introspective and all-knowing. His feet are planted firmly on the ground. Unwavering glow in his wise face from his lantern. That's reflecting his own inner light source. The white snow and his white beard show that he is one with nature, and without any force at all, his wisdom beckons us to come closer to our own inner world. Come closer to your inner world. Yay. So that's it for the positive, negative, both sides of stillness and movement in the tarot cards. And I hope this helped you gain some new insights into the cards. And I really encourage you to explore the tarot for yourself. You really don't even have to know what you're doing to have fun with this. You just let the cards speak to you. You use your intuition and enjoy yourself. So thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate it. And I'll turn it back over to Elizabeth unless anybody has questions for me. I think you're muted, Elizabeth.
It looked like Linda had a question.
Yes, Linda.
Hello, Jody. I'm sorry. Somehow I ended up in the wrong place, in the wrong meeting room.
Everyone was having a hard time. There were two different links, and even took me 10 minutes to get on here. So
Okay.
we've had some glitches. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, no, I wanted to apologize for missing the first part. I thought maybe there was a power failure because we had such a bad storm here. So I thought, anyway. Okay, well, I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry that I missed the first part, but thank you.
Well, thanks for being here. I'm glad you
Okay.
made it finally. And it's been recorded, so you can watch it later as well.
Well, thank you so much, JoLynn. That was super interesting and illuminating. I had a question that occurred to me. Well, I had two questions, but I'm going to ask you one. So when you're thinking about, you did a you showed examples using 3 cards. So do you ever do like a 1 card pull, or do you always use a sequence?
I have done
more in depth.
I've done a 1 card several times, but I always find I don't feel like that's quite enough because I like a clarifier. And 3 seems to give me more of a well-rounded look at what I'm seeing. But yes, you can do 1 card, definitely. A lot of people do that. So there's no problem with that. You just read the symbols for what they are on that card, and that can give you a very simple answer as well.
The other question I had was, is the tower card ever positive?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Is the tower card ever positive?
Absolutely. The tower card can, I think when I said it can sometimes be of your own choosing and your
Yeah.
own willpower to change and break down structures. And a lot of the cards of the tower have an eyeball at the top that's just shining bright. And I can always get a sense of if the client is the one making the changes or if they're caught off base by the surrounding cards. If they're powerful and strong and there's movement in a positive direction, that means they're actually creating that change. It could even be subconsciously for their own benefit. And if they're really stressful and they're rocky and there's other very shaky cards around it, it means that they have been blindsided and something happened just out of the blue. So it can be, it's never really bad or good. I shouldn't even use
Right.
those words. It's just challenging, or it's another phase. Life is like this. We go up and down. And so the downs are always perceived as more negative and challenging. So that's how I look at that.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions on this? Yeah, Linda?
Jody, do you work with reversals?
I used to quite a bit, and I will work with them if they pop out, but in general, I find that the uprights give me just as much clarity as I need in my readings. Yeah, if something pops out and it's reverse, I'm like, wow, this one really, I really need to read this one the way that I see it as reverse. So, and that does happen periodically, even though I think I'm being very, structured about the way I'm putting my cards back together. They have their own ideas, as Carol knows.
Well, I would have a question. I'm sorry, me too. I had so much problem entering. It was unbelievable. So I missed everything. If you drop a card on the floor, what do you do with it?
I would pick it up and read it.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I think any of those cards that fly out, it will. I don't know if you guys watch any of the card readers on TikTok. Wow, they shuffle like cards are flying out all over the place. My shuffling skills are very minimal, so I'm very jealous about the way that they do it like that. But yeah, their cards flying, and they usually do the same thing. They're like, oh, this one wants to come out, and this one, we're going to look at that.
Mhm.
That's their way of speaking.
Mhm.
Another way of speaking. They have many, many ways of speaking.
What are some of the besides what you illuminated this evening, what are some of the other ways that the cards speak to you in terms of what they communicate?
They really just mostly the court cards and the people in the cards, or the symbology is all about the way a person's back is turned to something, or if they're looking, or if they're engaging, or they're ignoring the other cards around there. That's a lot of what I go off of. Also, colors will sometimes spring out to me. Like I'm wearing this bright red shirt today. If I see a lot of red, then I know it's relating to either the survival, flight, or fight or flight of the root chakra. And so I'll kind of enter that realm and read about those energies as well. Also, just if there's animals in there, the symbology of birds or rabbits and what those animal totems can mean. There's so many different layers to it.
Yeah.
And
Do you ever use well, do the cards ever sort of the meaning shift when depending on who you're doing the reading for? Like you get a vibe as you're looking at the card, and you sense something different based on who it is that, or maybe the question or something like that.
yeah,
Are they
absolutely.
that active and malleable in terms of the energy? Is it that fluid?
Yes, when you're reading, you always just have to be very present and in tune to what you're receiving. I used to second guess myself a lot when I started and said that just can't be right. It just doesn't make sense. It's not really the meaning of that particular card. And I was much more rigid with everything, but opening up and finding the flow and the different meanings for the same card can have totally different meanings for different people. And I've even mentioned that when I'm reading, I'll say, well, normally this card means A, B, or C, but here it's here right now, and it's telling me that that is not what it's trying to relay to you. So I do honor that when I hear that coming in.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah. Since we are not many, would you draw one card for each one of us?
Absolutely.
Huh?
That deck was it's a mess now. So I've got this other deck.
Yeah.
Used this one in a while, but I found it recently and I just love it. So we're gonna look at this. I might not be able to stick to one card, Carol. We'll see. Card will do
And
it.
while you're shuffling the cards, what is the deck that you use the most?
The one I use the most is called the Cosmic Tarot, and I've been using
My favorite. My favorite. Yeah.
I don't even remember the name of this deck that I'm using, but it's really, there's that Empress card, and that one's beautiful. I've got it in a box and a scarf, so I can't remember what the name of it is.
Would
But
it be the Robin of Wood, maybe?
it very well might
Could
be.
be. Yeah, could be.
So, Carol, I'm gonna do for you first, since you
Okay.
asked, and the cards are saying I want to read for Carol first. Here we go for Carol. See what we got. Ace of Pentacles.
Mhm.
Wonderful. You're starting some new things. You've already planted the seeds. You're excited about nurturing your seed in the garden and seeing what's going to come of it, and get your rabbit energies going there with that rabbit totem. So Google search rabbit totem, and it's all about excitement and quick movement and a little bit of fear, but it's kind of excited fear because rabbits are so fun hopping around. And the pentacles are the earth energy and being very grounded and secure and safe and doing your research. So, that.
Thank you. I'll
Welcome.
check if it is the
And that
same.
one stand by itself. That one only needed one card. So
Yeah.
as
It
you can,
offers all possibilities.
didn't need a clarifier. So I'll do one for Linda next. If you want, you don't have to. You want to? Okay. All right, for Linda. Linda, we have the Knight of Swords. This is the very first card that I started out with. And he was the other deck. He was on a horse charging forward with determination, excitement, and energy, and the qualities of air and communication, just getting out there and really speaking your truth and being very clear about what you're delivering as far as messages. And you don't have to talk too much about something. People will understand the less words that you use, the better. So don't over explain yourself. Just put it out there and let it be as it is. It's a wonderful, exciting card. So good. I know that you do your herbs and your medicine woman, your blogs, and a bunch of other stuff. So keep speaking what you know about and keep delivering your message. It's being heard by a lot of people. That one didn't need clarifier either.
Thank you.
And let's see who else is here. Bridget, do you want one?
Yes, thank you so much.
I think you were one of the first ones that actually were able to get on the Zoom, weren't you? When I came on, how'd she get on? I couldn't
I
even.
did. I found this through the website on the calendar and just clicked the link to join. So I'm in Prescott for the summer. So I was looking for fun things to do.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're here. So we're going to do a card for you. So I'm going to shuffle one more time. Your card is the High Priest, and this is all about one of the examples I was using today was old traditional religious modes, but getting those keys for yourself and finding your own path to your own spirituality and your own wisdom. We don't have to go to higher sources and gurus and things to gain this information. It's right at our fingertips now. I mean, we have the internet, we have Google, we can find things out. We don't need to, go to church if it were to find out all of the answers for ourselves. So just riding high with your own spirituality and trusting that you do know what you do know and giving yourself props for that. And yeah, really cool. So feeling good with the 5 there.
Thank you. That resonates a lot.
And you can look up the 5 in numerology, you can look up the 5s and you can look up this card and get a lot more detail on all of that meaning there.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And it's not the Robin Wood Tarot because I checked, I just got that deck.
Similar
And
to
I-
that one,
yeah.
but not. Yeah. Seems like it's something path.
Yeah.
It'll come to me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll be texting on. Elizabeth, do you want one?
I was telling you, we have somebody that's called in as well.
Yes, and I think that's my friend Lisa. So
Okay.
I can
I
do.
just wanted you to know that we could, you could offer it to them.
I'll do a card for Lisa, and I'll do one for you first,
Okay.
Elizabeth. Hey, wow, Knight of Wands. He came up today in our examples too. And this is being very courageous and powerful and determined in what you're working on. And you might have to put on your helmet there and your hard hat, because once you have a passion and you're going forward, then all sorts of opposition rises up. But you've got this. You can use all of your passion, knowledge, and these green little sprouts coming out of his wand right there. All those new ideas are right at your fingertips to use. You've got the old ancient wood of the club of knowledge. You've got all that history from past lives and explorations in this arena. And then you've got all these buds coming out that are fresh and new. So you're bringing the old along with the new, a very powerful, passionate energy that you can just barrel forward and just bring it. Everyone loves what you do anyway, so you got
But
it.
I need my helmet.
Very nice.
I like it.
No matter how good you are, people always come at you and say, "Meh, meh."
That's right.
So,
You need your helmet.
The helmet is protection as well.
Exactly.
So
right.
you're divinely protected. I don't know.
Fine protection. All right, I'm going to do Lisa. I hope you can hear me, Lisa. I'm sure you can. And let's see what we got for Lisa. We have the 4 of Pentacles. This was also an example of what we were looking at earlier. And it's trying to collect your resources and hold on to them and be conservative about them right now. But you need to know when to release and quit gripping out of fear or worry about when is enough, and being very, I don't know, a little bit frightful about how things are going to unfold. This is the card example I use for it needing to be released. You need to breathe, you need to flow, you need to make sure that you are breathing deep in and out, not holding your breath, not gripping, or else you end up like that 4 of Swords we saw earlier, out of exhaustion. So you actually punish yourself by putting too many restrictions on yourself. But if you are in a time of needing to be conservative with whether it's finances or material goods or your thoughts or your friends or ideas, then you can hold on. But just make sure when you need to, you're holding on to them firmly, but with a loose grip, and don't try to push water uphill because it's too hard. You got to kind of let that flow in there. So release a little bit and get some flow, and just be very practical, but at the same time, get some emotions flowing and get those blockages out of there. So I hope that one helped. Celeste, you want one? All right. Ace of Wands. Wow, everybody's getting really cool cards today. This is the start. It's like the other ace that we had earlier with the Pentacles for Carol, I believe it was. And this is a ace that's very similar. There's new ideas, new passion, and it's also relates to the wand that Elizabeth was carrying as her knight. And this is that old and new energy, and just feeling like you're starting something brand new, and you've got your butterfly flitzing around there. That's that flow I was talking about, that just keep using that very light-hearted fairy energy of the insect world, and feel like you're engaging in the plant world and in the natural world. And I know that you already incorporate all of that into your jewelry with your meanings and things, but just feeling like you have a good new start, new passion of what you're working on. So yay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful deck, so I really want to know which one it is. So when it comes back to you, let us know.
I've got the box somewhere, so I'll find it and I will let you know. It is a really, really pretty deck. So
Yes, they are.
I like the Stonehenge on the background of that card that you just picked for me, Jody. Not sure what that means, but it was cool.
Ancient knowledge and timing seems to be right now. Yeah. Very cool.
Awesome, thank you. Thanks for, Carol, thank you for asking her to pull us each a card. And JoLynn, thank you for doing that. That was super fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, does anybody else have any questions or anything they want to ask, share about the tarot, ask JoLynn, anything like that?
We might ask for a consultation. I promised myself I would do that one day anyway, so.
We can trade.
Yeah.
To read for
I
me.
have, I have a question. Do you live in Prescott? Do you do in-person readings? No.
I do. I'm out Williamson Valley Road. Are you downtown, or whereabouts are you?
Yeah, we're staying close to downtown.
Okay, we're about probably 20-25 minute drive up Williamson Valley Road at the base of
Okay.
the mountain.
Okay. Are you just listed as a person on the website that can be contacted, or?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can just, my phone number is out there, and you can just contact me, text or whatever. We can do a Zoom or a phone reading or in person. So whatever you choose, so we can just set up a time.
Okay.
All right.
Bridget, if you go into the members on the website, you'll find JoLynn's information on there, and you'll be able to reach out to her.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Terrific. Now, I speak from personal experience, having a more in-depth reading, and it was phenomenal. So if you get the opportunity to have one, I highly recommend it. So with that, thank you all very much for joining us tonight. And again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. If there's anybody watching later, which I'm sure there will be, that's why you couldn't find us. We had several different Zooms going on. But I wish everyone a beautiful rest of your evening, whether it's just at the beginning or if you're on the East Coast, you are slowly slowly getting towards sleeping time. But anyway, have a lovely rest of the evening, and we will see you all hopefully next month.
Right. Thank you, everyone.
I would have a question to Bridget. The picture that you have, are you there, Bridget?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, it's